Our very first meeting with Summit was, they wanted to meet with us, and I booted it up to the courtroom because I knew we'd have a good following of people there, which we did. And to make a long story short, it didn't go well for Summit because there was a lot of questions that they just would not answer. And anyway, after this was all done, and we were 2 hours probably with this, and I'm like, this is enough. We're not getting anywhere. They're not answering questions, so we're done. And us commissioners were putting the courtroom back together, and Dan Lederman with Summit came up to me, and it was just me, and I was the only one that heard it. And he said, I'm going to tell you one thing, Suzanne, if you plan on putting the depth deeper than 4 feet, we will sue you, we will sue the rest of the commission, and we will sue your county. And I was just kind of, okay, that's a great way to start a relationship. Yeah, you betcha. And it has never improved one bit.
Wow.
And that's with the whole company, not just with Lederman.
Have you seen the same?
Yeah, similar. I mean, you know, just looking at everything that's happened both on the county level and statewide, they've had the opinion, this is happening one way or another. This pipeline will be built, it will go in, and they want us just to be a speed bump.
Yeah.
They are confident this project is happening with or without our rights.
How have you pushed back?
Well, my county, in Brown County here, we have a 1,500-foot setback from a property line, which has helped a lot. I mean, counties are limited to what we can and can't do, but one of the things that we can do is pass a setback for the compatible use of the land. We have a lot of area where this pipeline has been proposed that's really important for the future of our county for a development purpose. It goes right along one of the major highways out of town, land that's been developed a lot in the last 10 to 20 years and will continue to be. And as commissioners, we're concerned that if this goes in where it was originally planned to go, we're going to see development go away in that part of the county.
There was never no doubt that we were going to write an ordinance, no doubt. We put a moratorium on, of course they sued us. Didn't care. But a moratorium is just a pause to get our information and our facts straight to write a proper ordinance. And we did a half-mile setback, and it wasn't to keep Summit out. That wasn't our goal, or not to have the ethanol plant hook onto it. It was just an ordinance for, and we couldn't say it at the time, safety.
Right, talk about why you couldn't say safety.
Because it would have got thrown out, because why couldn't we use safety? It was...
regulated by PHMSA.
Yeah, PHMSA,
yep.
And yet PHMSA is now rewriting their regulations. Because all they have is a 4-foot depth, PHMSA does, and we want to go deeper.
Why is that?
Well, if you've ever been on the farm here and seen an implement get stuck in the mud, it goes deeper than 4 feet.
Oh.
And they could hit the pipeline, rupture the pipeline, whatever.
There'd also be, an argument to try to be below the frost line.
Yeah.
Right.
Commonly you say the frost line is roughly 6 feet deep. So if I'm doing a water line, I want to try to be 6 to 6.5 feet deep with that water line.
Gotcha.
So to be below the frost line,
Sure.
just as common sense.
Mm-hmm.
You do that with a water line commonly. Why should this be any different? Water is not a hazardous product.
Right.
This should be just at least as deep as a standard water line is.
Sure. Absolutely.
And our setbacks, I don't think are far enough. I mean, really, in the whole scheme of things, if there is a rupture, if you're a half-mile away, you're not going to get away from it. It's nothing. But we knew we had to put something in place, and thank goodness we did, because the 3 ordinances with McPherson, Brown, and Spink ended up getting the permit denied.
Right. Okay, so what does SB 201 mean for you? Does that just that strip all of your authority?
Just for that project.
Just for that?
Yeah. If they want to take the rights away from us, from townships, they better find a better reason than that.
Yeah.
I mean, people want their locals who know them to make up the rules for this. And I feel the same way, 100%.
When they say the best government is that closest to the people, why should the people who live here in our small towns, our farmers, our ranchers, not have a say in this? Because there's a lot of people who live 5, 10, 15 miles from me who know me. Or if they want to come talk to the commission, they drive 20 minutes into the commission chambers and have a conversation with us. It's a lot easier to do that than it is to drive 3 hours to Pierre. People are working, they have jobs, they have families. Driving to Pierre is a major inconvenience. Now, they'll do it if they have to, but it's a lot easier to come talk to your county commissioners or the people on your local zoning board and have a conversation, because they are closer, they have more time, and they understand the situation much better. So to see that local control gone would be a disaster. Mm-hmm. We have a long precedent of having ordinances and zoning that works for our communities. What works in Brown County may not work in Minnehaha County, or vice versa. So why not allow counties and townships to do what works best for them?
What do you see for the future?
Well, I think there's a long battle ahead of us. I really do. I think there's so much money behind this that they're just not going to quit till they get to their goal, and that is the carbon credits. And unfortunately, I think it's a sham. That's my opinion. But call it like you see it. You just can't throw money at people and expect them to bow down. Now, when that permit got denied, they came back wanting easements, but they weren't paying full price for these easements. So, they whether they got their purse strings snipped a little bit or what, I have no idea and don't care, but the foreign backing is something that bothers me severely.
Mm-hmm. Well, it'll be interesting to see with Senate Bill 201. Now that the petitions have been sent to Pierre, we should have enough signatures to refer that to the ballot. What the voters do is the next question. Mm-hmm. I think the majority of voters will understand that local control is important and hopefully reject Senate Bill 201. But longer term, like through the legislature, when I served in the legislature, you could see a divide between certain factions of the members, in the state house. But that grew deeper and more evident, especially after COVID, when you saw the billions and trillions of dollars that were just printed during COVID and dished out. All of a sudden, you saw the different politicians, corporations, lining up to try to gobble up these dollars. And it was like hogs at the feeding trough. Mm-hmm. And it's gotten worse and worse the more corporate welfare that's come down from Washington. And so what it really comes down to is, what are the people going to decide? Do they want to elect people who are there to support corporate welfare and their main priority is dollars, or people who want to go there to protect freedom and liberty? Yeah. And that's really what it boils down to. The idea of, the radical environmentalists who are pushing this, these are the same people that want to see diesel engines gone away with and cattle operations done away with. That's our livelihood around here, is cattle operations. That's my main source of revenue and my family's main source of revenue. So let's look and see kind of who's pushing this.
People think that they don't have a say in this. All I do is rent an apartment from so-and-so. Well, you do. You're very important in this. You pay your rent to the apartment owner who pays taxes. You are very important, and everybody needs to get out and vote on this. This has just been a bully situation. They're just going to walk all over anybody that's in their path. Wow. And it didn't happen.